What is good, everybody? Your favorite tag team duo is back. Tag team real estate duo, that is. My man Wallace out right here. Yours truly, Marvin Daniels. It's been a minute. We're back on YouTube. We took some time off. Now more than ever, we are back with this channel to bring you guys content that most other people in the investing business probably won't bring you, as far as real estate, as far as maybe even some other stuff like stocks or whatever the case might be. Basically, Wallace and I are here to bring this channel to provide you guys with value that, quite frankly, school or even college won't provide you. And we're here to provide you this for free, because now we are in a time frame, now we are in an economy where we are most likely getting ready to see one of the biggest transfers of wealth that we have ever seen this generation. Wallace and I are for damn sure going to be a part of it, and we want you to be a part of it as well. But before we get into today's video, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel, because Wallace and I are going to be bringing you guys quality content as far as real estate investing is concerned, as far as life advice is concerned, as far as a lot of other stuff is concerned. And share this video with anybody that you think this could help, because Wallace and I also are going to be doing giveaways as far as money, helping people with bills, helping people with gas and different things like that. We already put out our first video where we just made an announcement saying that we're helping people with back to school, giving away backpacks, coats, all that type of stuff for people that need it. So if you're one of those people, or if you know someone, please share this video with them. Now, a little bit about myself and Wallace. Wallace got into real estate in 2010 as a real estate agent. In 2 years, he took off, made, I think, over $1 million or whatever the number was. And then from there, he began flipping houses. He began to get to the investment side of the business and has pretty much been in the investment side of the business since then, after becoming a real estate agent since 2012. And that's when I hopped on with him. Around 2013 is when I hopped on. I saw Wallace became really successful as a real estate agent, then started flipping houses, started wholesaling houses, wholesaled a lot of houses to Wallace. I made myself a lot of money. I helped Wallace make a ton of money. Wallace also got himself a bunch of rentals. And then Wallace took that money and he recycled it, and then began to become a lender, because that's something big as well. That's another area in the real estate business that Wallace is involved in, is lending the money, as well as myself. So that's kind of the history of how Wallace and I got started. We've basically been doing deals for the last 10 plus years together, just making each other a lot of money. And that's what we're here to provide with you guys. Now, as far as the video is concerned, Wallace, you said, we were talking before we turned the camera on, and there was a message that you wanted to go over and helping the audience understand home prices. So exactly what did you want to talk to everybody about as far as it pertains to understanding home prices?
So basically, real estate is just like any other industry, right? So think about if you could buy, 5 houses with $100,000 versus if you can only buy one, or with today's home price, not even one, right? So what we are here today is for the fundamental stuff, because the basic stuff is really something that's extremely important for anybody to become experts, becoming successful in their industry. So the first lesson actually today we would like to share with the audience is this, Marvin. I'm just curious, right? Being a Native American born and raised in this country, do you have any idea what the home price looked like in the 90s in the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania?
No, not at all. I mean, obviously they were lower than they are now, but I have no idea what the numbers were.
Okay. So basically, according to some of the researches I have done, in the 90s, you can pretty much buy a property on average in the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for $80,000. And then the second question is, do you also wonder how much people were making at the time in the 90s in Philadelphia?
You mean the average salary?
Yeah, same area, yeah.
In the same area for, I would say maybe my guess would be, I haven't looked into this, so I don't know. I would say my guess maybe is roughly 15,000.
15?
Something
okay.
like that.
So unfortunately, it wasn't even close. So at the time in the 90s in the area of Philadelphia, right, most people will have a household income of 40,000. So what that means is if you saved up just 2 years of your money, you can buy a house, right? So now let's fast forward to 2025, which is where we are now. So most homes, right, in the city of Philadelphia on average is in the high twos, meaning let's call it 275,000. Okay.
Okay.
And today, most people in that area is making about 80,000. No, I'm sorry, 60 to 70,000, not 80. So let's call it 65.
Okay.
So today, it will take people 4 to 5 years of time to buy the same house. It will take people only 2 years time to buy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So what I trying to say here, my message, our message to the audience today is people often say, as a real estate beginner, right? You don't have to buy properties like we did, with no money down, flipping houses with no money, no credit, never take loans from banks. I never did in my whole life. I never needed the bank because if I don't have money, I just flip the house. But that's something we can talk about in the future videos. But today, what I trying to emphasize is me and Marvin, we actually had a conversation before we making this video about letting the world know that we should buy real estate and wait instead of wait then buy real estate. Because you know how a lot of the people, especially me as Asian parents, will be like, hey, you got to save up your money. You got to wait for a few years until you have enough down payment so that you don't get charged for as much of the interest the bank charge you since you borrow less money now. But that's actually a wrong advice. Why? Think about it. If you bought it in the 90s, you pay 80 grand. At the time, you only had to work 2 years for the house. But if you take advice from the wrong people, guess what? You will have to work 5 years, 6, 7 years to buy the house. And if you see the trend, see the pattern, that means you're going to know 20, 30, 40 years from today in 2050, home prices in Philadelphia might be 5, 6, 700,000. And guess what? At that time, your salary might only go up 10, 20%, meaning it's going to now take you even longer than 5, 6 years to buy the same house, probably 10 or 12 years. So what I try to emphasize today in our video is I think we should first buy real estate, do whatever it takes to buy real estate, and we sit on the real estate for the next 20, 30, however many years we can until the price double, triple, if that makes sense. Because that way, you don't have to work as hard, right? Think about it. Most people graduate, started working, at age 22, 23?
Yeah, I would say something like that.
So by the time you retire, you only do 40 years, right?
Right.
So if we can buy a home with only 2 years of our time, we still got 38 years left to work to make the money to do other things. But if we just, spend a decade of our lifetime to save up the money, buy a house because we waited, then now the money you put up on a house is really a waste. Right. So in the future videos, we will definitely be talking about, we will dive in deep, talk about how to buy real estate with little to no money, buy real estate with no credit, like how we did it. But today, the biggest message here we wanted to emphasize is to understand the basics.
Yeah, I would say understanding the basics for sure, but also understanding that now is not the time, in my opinion, to be sitting on the sideline, because so many people, they say, especially buyers, they say they're going to sit on the sideline, they're going to wait, and they say, oh, I'm going to wait till the market crashes. I'm going to wait till the market corrects itself and yada, 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 all this other type of stuff, which could very well happen. But historically, we've seen that real estate prices always trend up. So even if there is somewhat of a market correction, or even if the Fed or whatever lowers interest rates, that just means a lot of competition is going to come into the market and scoop it up. And a lot of you thinking that, oh, I'm going to wait till the market goes down a little bit so I can buy a house or I can find a deal. Good luck waiting, because the market most likely is going to keep going up. So the house today, if you want, for instance, want to buy a house at what, 600,000, 700,000, whatever case may be, 500,000, 300,000, let's just say 500,000. You want to buy that house and you say, oh, I'm going to wait till the market corrects itself and I'm going to buy that house at 450. Or 475 or whatever the number might be. Good luck, because that house is probably a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, that house is probably going to be 550, 600 or whatever the number is going to be. You know what I'm saying? Because so many people, they're obsessed with waiting. I want to wait. Now is not the time to wait. Now, I will say, if you want to wait to buy a piece of real estate, that is fine. And you let me know how you feel about this. That's fine if you know the secret ways, if you know the hidden ways to wait. Because most people, the reason I tell most people don't wait to buy a real estate for the market or for the interest rates to come down or whatever the case may be, the reason I say that is because you're in too much competition with all these other buyers. You're in competition with everyone else who wants to get a loan. you're in competition with everybody else who's going to get a loan at whatever 7% or 6% or whatever the rate is. You know what I'm saying? So, but if you're an investor and you know how to get a house for free, right? Like
Yeah.
Wallace and I, we know how to get a house for free, or we know how to do creative financing deals. Then in those instances, or if you know what to look for when you're dealing with a motivated seller, you know how to structure a deal, you know how to talk to a seller, because I think that's going to be our next video after we do this is
Sure.
talking to sellers and that type of thing. Just going over that briefly, obviously not going into
Scripts.
detail. Right, scripts.
Yeah.
So when you know how to do that, then I believe you absolutely can wait, because you can get a deal in any market when you know what to say and how to talk to a seller. But I mean, you let me know how you feel.
Yeah, because with what he said, I think the most important thing here is actually who you listen to. I think that's a biggie, because a lot of the people don't realize we actually have been listening to the wrong advice from the wrong people, time after time, year after year. So here, like Marvin just said, waiting, right? How I feel about waiting to me is like a recipe for disaster. Why? Because my first few years from 2002, when I first came to this country, until 2010, I waited. I didn't do real estate. And guess what? You guys have no idea how many millions of dollars I could have put in my pocket if I didn't wait. Because I took the wrong advice from the wrong people. And guess what? I waited because, the worst advice to me is to listening to your family and friends. Why? Because my family and friends told me to wait. However, at the same time, if we have somebody we trust, somebody we look up to, somebody who has, done what we wanted to do, somebody has been there, done that before, I think we should take advice from these people, if that makes sense.
100%.
So that's how I feel about waiting. Just don't wait. You buy real estate, then you wait. You sit on real estate.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, that's all I got. First video, we back in action. Your favorite tag team duo. Like I said to start the video, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Send this video to anybody it could benefit. If you're looking to start your real estate journey, also send this video to anybody who might be in need of, having help with their bills paid or whatever the case might be, back to school stuff. Because like I said, Wallace and I, we are doing back to school giveaways. And we are helping people with certain bills and stuff like that, pretty much like Wallace likes to say, for the rest of our lives. We're dedicated to giving charity and giving back to people that are in serious need. So if you're not in this video to learn about real estate, to learn about business or whatever the case may be, to learn about politics is what's going on in the world, that's fine. But at least share the video for those, or tune into the videos just in case you or someone might need help as far as bills or anything is concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Peace.